Spring 2023. Two farmers, same county, same dealer parking lot, same impossible decision. Marcus Chen stands in front of a Massey Ferguson 9S 595, 592 horsepower, 50,000 pounds of torque delivery, red paint so fresh it looks wet under the March sun. The dealer wants $512,000. Marcus has the check in his pocket, but he doesn't sign, not yet. 50 yards away, Travis Holbrook stands in front of a Case IH Steiger 620 horsepower, luxury cab, articulated power that promises to rip his heaviest clay ground like butter. The dealer wants $538,000. Travis has already shaken hands. He's signing paperwork in 20 minutes. Both men farm corn and soybeans. Both run 2,400-acre operations. Both need a tractor that can pull a 48-foot chisel plow through wet spring ground without flinching. Both men are gambling their entire operating budget on one machine. Only one of them will still be farming by August. This is not a story about preference. This is not about paint color or brand loyalty or what your father drove. This is about engineering. This is about metallurgy. This is about what happens when you trust a brand name instead of the machine itself. This is about two tractors, two men, and the 6 months that separated survival from catastrophe. Marcus Chen is 39 years old. He farms outside Monroe City, Missouri. Rolling ground, heavy gumbo soil that turns to concrete when it dries and soup when it rains. His father farmed 800 acres. Marcus tripled it. He did it by being smart. He did it by being careful. He did it by never making a purchase he couldn't defend with math. He's owned John Deere. He's owned New Holland. He's owned Kubota utility tractors and versatile four-wheel drives. He doesn't care about green or red or yellow. He cares about uptime. He cares about fuel economy. He cares about whether a machine does what the spec sheet promises or whether it becomes a $500,000 lawn ornament. He's been researching the Massey Ferguson 9S 595 for 4 months. He's read every forum post. He's called 3 owners in Iowa. He's watched dyno tests on YouTube. He knows the ATCO power engine produces peak torque at 1,500 RPM. He knows the CVT transmission has a 15% better fuel efficiency rating than conventional power shift systems. He knows the hydraulic system delivers 119 gallons per minute. But he also knows Massey Ferguson doesn't have the dealer network that Case IH has. He knows parts might take longer. He knows resale value is still a question mark because the 9S series is newer to North America. He's standing in front of the tractor, trying to decide if performance today is worth risk tomorrow. Travis Holbrook is 44 years old. He farms outside Paris, Missouri, 30 miles south of Marcus. Same soil, same crops, same brutal spring weather that turns April into a war zone. Travis has owned Case IH his entire life. His father owned Case IH. His grandfather owned International Harvester before the merger. Red iron is family religion. He doesn't research competitors. He doesn't need to. Case IH has never let him down, or at least that's what he tells himself. The Steiger 620 is the biggest tractor Case IH makes in the articulated lineup. 620 horsepower from a Cursor 16 engine. It's a beast. It's a statement. It's the kind of machine you park at the co-op and watch other farmers stare. Travis wants that. He wants the respect. He wants the horsepower bragging rights. He wants to pull up to the diner and have someone say, "You see Holbrook's new Steiger? That thing's a monster." He's not thinking about the transmission. He's not thinking about the front axle mount. He's not thinking about what happens when 620 horsepower meets 4,000 hours of torque stress in ground that doesn't forgive mistakes. He's thinking about power. He's thinking about reputation. He's thinking about what it feels like to own the biggest machine in the county. That's the difference. Marcus is buying a tool. Travis is buying an identity. Marcus takes one more walk around the Massey Ferguson 9S. He opens the cab door. He climbs up. The interior is clean, modern. The screen layout is intuitive. The seat adjusts in 12 directions. The visibility is flawless. He can see all 4 corners of the machine without leaning. He climbs down. He walks back to the dealership office. He writes the check. He signs the paperwork. He schedules delivery for Monday. He doesn't feel excited. He feels relieved. He bought the machine that made sense, not the one that made noise. Travis signs his paperwork with a grin. The Steiger 620 will be delivered tomorrow. He's already planned the route home. He's taking the long way. through town, past the co-op, past the cafe. He wants people to see it. He calls his brother on the way home. Got the Steiger, 620 horsepower, biggest tractor I've ever owned. His brother laughs. You're gonna burn so much fuel. Travis doesn't care. Yeah, but I'm gonna rip. April 10th. Both machines arrive. Marcus takes delivery of the Massey Ferguson 9S 595 at dawn. The transport driver backs it off the trailer. Marcus does a walk-around. He checks fluid levels. He syncs the display system. He programs his field boundaries. He hooks up his 48-foot Landau chisel plow. He's in the field by 9 a.m. The ground is damp, not wet, not dry. That perfect window where soil breaks clean but doesn't clod. The Massey Ferguson pulls the plow at 6.2 miles per hour. Engine RPM holds steady at 1600. Fuel consumption reads 18.4 gallons per hour. The CVT transmission adjusts seamlessly. No lurching, no hunting, just smooth, relentless forward motion. Marcus runs until sunset. He covers 112 acres, 0 issues, 0 alarms, 0 downtime. He shuts the machine down at 8:47 p.m. He climbs out. He stands in the field and listens to the engine tick as it cools. He made the right choice. Travis takes delivery of the Case IH Steiger 620 at 10 a.m. The dealer rep gives him a walkthrough, shows him the new display, the new hydraulic controls, the updated DEF system. Travis nods along, but he's not really listening. He knows Case IH. He's been running red iron for 20 years. He hooks up his chisel plow. He heads to the field. He drops the plow. He throttles up. The Steiger pulls hard. The engine roars. The ground breaks. Travis grins. This is what 620 horsepower feels like. This is what he paid for. He runs until 6 p.m. He covers 98 acres. The Steiger burns 22.3 gallons per hour, higher than expected. But Travis figures that's just break-in. New engines run rich. It'll settle. He shuts down. He climbs out. He takes a picture of the tractor in the field. He posts it to Facebook. Day 1 in the books. This thing is a beast. 47 likes in an hour. April 15th. Marcus has been running the Massey Ferguson 9S for 5 days straight. He's covered 673 acres. He's burned 6,180 gallons of fuel. The tractor has not thrown a single fault code. The CVT transmission is flawless. The hydraulics are responsive. The ride quality is better than any tractor he's ever owned. He's averaging 6.4 miles per hour in heavy ground. He's getting 17.9 gallons per hour at full load. The math works. He'll finish his entire tillage program in 14 days. He'll be planted by May 10th. He'll be ahead of schedule. Travis has been running the Steiger 620 for 5 days. He's covered 581 acres. He's burned 7,890 gallons of fuel. The tractor is strong, no question. But the fuel consumption isn't settling. It's holding at 22 gallons per hour, sometimes higher. Travis tells himself it's fine. Horsepower costs fuel. That's the trade. But on the morning of April 15th, the Steiger throws its first code. Engine derate warning. DEF system fault. Travis pulls up the screen. The message says DEF quality sensor malfunction. The tractor is limiting power to 80% until the issue is resolved. Travis calls the dealer. They tell him to bring it in. He loses half a day. The dealer replaces the sensor. No charge. Warranty covers it. Travis drives home. He's back in the field by 3 p.m. He tells himself it's nothing. New machines have bugs. It's normal. April 22nd. Marcus crosses 1,200 acres. The Massey Ferguson 9S is performing exactly as promised. Fuel efficiency is consistent. Power delivery is smooth. He's had 0 breakdowns, 0 delays, 0 surprises. He's on pace to finish tillage by April 28th. He'll start planting May 1st. He'll have corn in the ground before the next rain system moves through. Travis crosses 1,150 acres. The Steiger has thrown 2 more DEF codes. Both required dealer visits. Both were sensor replacements. The dealer assures him it's just a batch of bad sensors. It happens. But Travis is losing time. Half a day here, 3 hours there. It adds up. He's behind schedule. He tells himself he'll make it up. He'll run longer days. He'll push harder. April 29th. The weather changes. A spring storm system moves through northeast Missouri. 3 inches of rain in 2 days. The fields turn to mud. Planting stops. Everyone waits. Marcus shuts down the Massey Ferguson 9S and parks it in the shed. He's finished tillage, all 2,400 acres. He's ready to plant the moment the ground dries. Travis still has 380 acres of tillage left. He gambled on pushing through the rain. He thought the Steiger's weight and power would carry him. It didn't. He got stuck twice. He tore up 40 acres of ground trying to pull through. Now he has to wait. And when the ground dries, he'll have to rework those 40 acres before he can plant. He's 2 weeks behind. May 7th, the field's dry, planting begins. Marcus hooks a 24-row planter to the Massey Ferguson 9S. The tractor handles it effortlessly. He's planting at 5.8 miles per hour. Population is dialed, depth is perfect. He's covering 32 acres per hour. He runs 3 14-hour days. He plants 1,340 acres without stopping. Travis finishes his last 380 acres of tillage. Then he starts planting. His Steiger pulls a 24-row planter, but the fuel consumption is brutal. He's burning 19 gallons per hour just planting. The tractor is working harder than it should. On May 9th, the Steiger throws another code. This time it's not DEF, it's transmission. Oil pressure warning. The message says articulation hydraulic system fault. Travis keeps running. The code clears after 10 minutes. He figures it's a sensor glitch. It's not. May 12th. Travis is planting his east section. Heavy ground. The Steiger is pulling hard. He's got the throttle wide open. The planter is down. He's making good time. Then he hears it. A crack. Sharp. Loud. Metal on metal. The tractor lurches. The steering pulls hard left. Travis fights the wheel. The Steiger slows. The engine is still running, but something is very wrong. He stops. He climbs out. The front axle mount has cracked. The articulation joint that connects the front and rear halves of the tractor is fractured. Hydraulic fluid is leaking. The tractor is still operational, but it's compromised. If he keeps running, the crack will spread. The mount will fail completely. The tractor will be immobile. Travis calls the dealer. They send a service truck. The mechanic takes one look and shakes his head. You need a new articulation mount. We don't have that part in stock. It's a special order, probably 2 weeks. Travis feels his stomach drop. 2 weeks. Maybe sooner. I'll call AGCO and see if we can expedite. Travis stands there. He doesn't correct the mechanic. AGCO doesn't make Case IH parts. CNH Industrial does, but he's too tired to care. He watches the service truck leave. He's standing in the middle of 1,100 unplanted acres with a broken tractor and no backup plan. He calls his neighbor. He calls his cousin. He calls every contractor in a 50-mile radius. Everyone is busy. Everyone is planting their own ground. No one has a tractor to rent. He's dead in the water. May 14th. Marcus finishes planting. All 2,400 acres. Corn and soybeans. Done. He parks the Massey Ferguson 9S in the shed. He grabs a beer. He sits on the tailgate of his truck and watches the sun set over freshly planted fields. He hasn't thought about Travis. He doesn't know what happened. He's too busy enjoying the fact that his machine did exactly what it was supposed to do. No drama, no codes, no failures, just work. May 18th. Travis gets the call. The replacement articulation mount is in. The dealer schedules installation for May 20th. The repair will take 2 days. Labor and parts covered under warranty. Travis doesn't care that it's free. He cares that he lost 6 days. 6 days in May. 6 days of perfect planting weather. He's now 3 weeks behind. May 22nd. The Steiger is repaired. Travis hooks up the planter. He starts again. He plants for 4 days straight. Long hours. Sunrise to midnight. He's desperate to catch up. On May 26th, the Steiger throws another code. Hydraulic system fault. Same area. Different sensor. Travis ignores it. He keeps planting. He's not stopping again. The code comes back every hour. The tractor keeps running, but the hydraulic pressure is inconsistent. The planter depth control starts fluctuating. Some rows are planting shallow, some are too deep. Travis knows it, he can see it, but he can't afford to stop. He finishes planting on May 30th, 3.5 weeks late, June through July, growing season. Marcus watches his corn emerge, even stand. Consistent depth, no skips, no doubles. The Massey Ferguson planted it right. Travis watches his corn emerge. Uneven stand. Depth variation shows. Some plants are 2 inches behind others. Some rows are thin. He knows what happened. He knows the planter wasn't working right. He knows the Steiger's hydraulic issues caused it. He can't fix it now. The crop is in. He'll have to live with it. By mid-June, the difference is visible from the road. Marcus's fields are uniform green, wall-to-wall coverage. Every row marching in perfect formation. Travis's fields are patchy, dark green where the population is thick, light green where the stand is thin. Neighbors notice. No one says anything, but they notice. Travis stops driving past his own fields. It's easier not to look. July brings heat. Drought conditions settle over northeast Missouri. Rainfall is 2 inches below normal. The crops that were planted right have deep roots. The crops that were planted wrong are struggling. Marcus walks his corn in mid-July. He pulls a few plants. The roots are 8 inches deep. Nodal roots are well established. The plants are healthy. They'll handle the heat. Travis walks his corn the same week. He pulls a few plants from the thin areas. The roots are shallow, 5 inches, maybe 6. The late planting and inconsistent depth left the plants vulnerable. They're stressed. He can see it in the leaf curl, in the pale color, in the way the tassels are delayed. He knows what's coming. He's going to lose yield. The only question is how much. August. Harvest projections. Marcus walks his fields with a yield monitor app on his phone. He counts ears. He counts kernels. He measures ear length. His corn is tall, uniform, healthy. He estimates 198 bushels per acre. Travis walks his fields with the same app. His corn is inconsistent. Some spots look good. Some spots are thin. Some spots barely made it. He estimates 170 bushels per acre in his best fields, 155 in his worst. That's a 28 bushel difference on average. On 1,400 acres of corn, that's 39 to 200 bushels. At $4.80 per bushel, that's $188 billion in lost revenue. The Steiger 6 and 20 cost him more than the purchase price. It cost him an entire season. But it gets worse. Late August, Travis is applying fungicide to his soybeans. He's running the Steiger with a 90-foot sprayer. The beans look decent, not great, but decent. He's hoping to salvage something from the season. He's spraying his Northeast 40 when the Steiger starts making noise. A grinding sound from the transmission, low at first, then louder. Travis reduces throttle. The sound continues. He stops. He shifts to neutral. The sound persists. He shuts down. He climbs out. He calls the dealer. The service tech arrives 2 hours later. He listens to the engine. He checks the transmission fluid. He runs a diagnostic scan. "You've got metal in your transmission oil," the tech says. "Something's chewing up inside. You need to bring it in." Travis doesn't move. How long? For the diagnostic, 2 days. For the repair, depends on what we find. Could be a week, could be 3. Travis stares at the tractor. He's got 800 acres of beans left to spray. The application window is closing. If he waits 2 weeks, the disease pressure will cost him 10 bushels per acre. Can it make it to the dealer? Travis asks. The tech shakes his head. "I wouldn't. You could grenade the whole transmission, then you're looking at a full replacement. That's $85,000 in 6 weeks. Travis sits down on the sprayer hitch. He doesn't say anything. He just sits there. The tech loads the Steiger onto a flatbed. Travis watches the truck disappear down the gravel road. He calls a spray contractor. The guy can fit him in next week. It'll cost $18 per acre. Travis agrees. He doesn't have a choice. He sits in his pickup and does the math. 800 acres at $18 per acre, that's $14,400, plus the fungicide cost, plus the yield loss from delayed application. The Steiger is costing him more every single week. September, harvest begins. Marcus starts combining on September 12th. The corn is dry, the weather is clear. He runs his Massey Ferguson 9S pulling a grain cart. The tractor performs flawlessly. He's hauling 800 bushel loads at 8 miles per hour on the road. The CVT transmission keeps the speed steady. The fuel economy is better than expected. He finishes corn harvest in 12 days. He averages 201 bushels per acre, 3 bushels higher than his projection. The consistent stand made all the difference. He starts soybeans on September 26th. The beans are clean, no disease. The fungicide application was perfectly timed. He averages 58 bushels per acre. He finishes harvest on October 9th. Total time, 27 days, 0 breakdowns, 0 delays. Travis starts combining on September 14th. His corn is uneven. The thin spots are dry. The thick spots are still holding moisture. He has to adjust the combine constantly. Some loads are 14% moisture, some are 18%. He's paying to dry half his crop. He averages 168 bushels per acre, 33 bushels below Marcus. He starts soybeans on October 1st. The delayed fungicide application showed there's white mold in the Northeast 40, sudden death syndrome in the creek bottom. The beans that looked decent in August look rough now. He averages 52 bushels per acre. He finishes harvest on October 18th. Total time, 34 days. The Steiger came back from the dealer on October 3rd. The transmission repair cost $23,400. Warranty covered some of it. Travis paid $8,900 out of pocket for labor and incidentals. He used the Steiger to pull the grain cart for the last 2 weeks of harvest. It ran fine, no issues, but he didn't trust it anymore. Every noise made him flinch. Every gear change made him hold his breath. He's driving a $538,000 tractor that he's afraid to use. October. Financial reconciliation. Marcus sits in his office with his accountant. They run the numbers. Gross revenue from corn, 1,400 acres at 201 bushels per acre. 281,400 bushels at 4.80 cents per bushel. $1,350,720. Gross revenue from soybeans, 1,000 acres at 58 bushels per acre. 58,000 bushels at $13 per bushel. $759,800. Total gross revenue, $2,110,520. Input costs, seed, fertilizer, chemicals, fuel, labor, $1,340,000. Net operating profit, $705. Equipment costs, Massey Ferguson 9S payment, $48,600 annual. Maintenance, $4,287,400. Total equipment costs, $140,200. Net profit after equipment, $6,320. Marcus leans back in his chair. It's a good year, not great, but solid. The Massey Ferguson 9S did what it was supposed to do. No surprises, no disasters, just consistent, reliable performance. Travis sits in his office alone. He doesn't need an accountant. He already knows the numbers are bad. Gross revenue from corn, 1,400 acres at 168 bushels per acre. 235,200 bushels at 4.80 per bushel. 1,128,960. Gross revenue from soybeans, 1,000 acres at 52 bushels per acre. 52,000 bushels at 13 per bushel. $681,200. Total gross revenue, $1,810,060. Input costs, same as Marcus, $1,340. Net operating profit, $470,160. Equipment costs, Steiger 620 payment, $51,100 annual. Maintenance and repairs, $12,300. Fuel and $23,000. Spray contractor, $14,400. Total equipment costs, $201,000. Net profit after equipment, $268,660. Travis stares at the screen. Marcus made $630,320. Travis made $68,660. That's a $361,660 difference. Marcus made 2.35 times more profit than Travis. Same acres, same crops, same county, same weather, different tractor. Travis opens a new browser tab. He types Massey Ferguson 9S 595 review into the search bar. He reads for an hour. He reads owner testimonials. He reads forum posts. He reads spec sheets. He reads fuel economy comparisons. He reads uptime data. Everything he should have read in March. He closes the laptop. He walks outside. He looks at the Steiger 620 parked in the shed. 620 horsepower. Big, red, impressive, worthless. November. Equipment auctions. Travis doesn't go. He can't afford to see what the Steiger is worth on the secondary market. He can't afford to see a Massey Ferguson 9S sell for more than he paid 6 months ago, while his Steiger has lost $130,000 in value. Marcus goes to an auction in Iowa. He's not buying, he's just looking, watching, learning. A Massey Ferguson 9S 595 with 800 hours sells for $495,000. The auctioneer calls it one of the fastest sales of the day. 3 bidders, strong demand, clean machine. A Case IH Steiger 620 with 600 hours sells for $410,000. 1 bidder, no competition, the seller looks sick. Marcus watches the Steiger roll off the auction block. He thinks about the farmer who bought it new. He wonders what happened. He wonders if it's the same story as 100 other farmers. Big horsepower, big problems, big regrets. He drives home. He doesn't feel smug. He doesn't feel superior. He just feels grateful he did the math before he signed the check. December. End-of-year maintenance. Marcus brings the Massey Ferguson 9S into the shop. Oil change, filter changes, grease, fluids, standard maintenance. The dealer does a full inspection. No wear on the CVT, no leaks, no stress cracks, no concerns. Total hours, 1,847. Total maintenance costs, $3,200. The service manager walks Marcus to the tractor. "This is one of the cleanest high-hour machines I've seen," he says. "Whatever you're doing, keep doing it." Marcus nods. I'm just running it. Well, it shows. Travis brings the Steiger 620 into the shop. Oil change, filter changes, grease, fluids, transmission inspection. The dealer finds metal shavings in the hydraulic filter, not enough to cause immediate concern, but enough to suggest ongoing wear. They recommend a full hydraulic system flush, $4,800. Total hours, 702. Total maintenance cost, $8,100. The service manager doesn't say anything. He just hands Travis the invoice. Travis pays. He drives home. He parks the Steiger in the shed. He doesn't look at it. January 2024. Winter planning. Marcus is planning for spring. He's looking at a new planter, maybe a new drill, maybe a new sprayer. The Massey Ferguson 9S will be back in the field pulling whatever he hooks to it. No question, no doubt. He's also looking at expanding. Another 400 acres. A neighbor is retiring. The land is good. The price is fair. Marcus can handle it. The Massey Ferguson proved he has the capacity. Travis is planning for survival. He's cutting acres. He can't afford to expand. He can barely afford to operate. The lost profit from 2023 wiped out his operating loan cushion. He's tight, really tight. He's looking at used equipment, smaller stuff, cheaper stuff, anything to reduce his overhead. He's not looking at new tractors. He can't. He's stuck with the Steiger for at least 3 more years, maybe 5. He has to make it work. February 2024. Coffee shop. Marcus is sitting at the corner table. He's got a laptop open. He's reviewing seed prices for spring. Travis walks in. He sees Marcus. He almost turns around, but he doesn't. He walks to the counter. He orders coffee. He sits down 3 tables away. They don't talk. They don't acknowledge each other. But they both know. Marcus knows Travis bought the Steiger. Everyone knows. Small towns don't have secrets. Travis knows Marcus bought the Massey Ferguson. He saw it at the co-op in October. He saw it running. He saw it working. They sit in silence. 2 farmers, 2 tractors, 2 completely different outcomes. Travis finishes his coffee. He stands up. He walks toward the door. He stops. He turns around. Marcus. Marcus looks up. That 9S, how's it running? Marcus doesn't gloat. He doesn't smile. He just answers honestly. Good, real good. Travis nods. He doesn't ask anything else. He doesn't need to. He walks out. Marcus goes back to his laptop. He doesn't think about Travis. He doesn't think about the Steiger. He thinks about spring, about planting, about the 400 acres he's adding, about the Massey Ferguson 9S that's going to pull him through another season without drama. Travis drives home. He thinks about the Steiger. He thinks about the $361,660. He thinks about the articulation mount, the transmission, the hydraulic codes, the broken stand, the lost yield. He thinks about 600 horsepower that cost him everything. He pulls into his driveway. He sits in the truck. He stares at the shed where the Steiger is parked. He thinks about Marcus, the guy who bought the tractor that made sense, not the one that made noise. This is not a story about one tractor being better than another. This is not about red versus black versus green. This is about engineering. This is about choosing performance over perception. This is about buying a machine that works instead of a machine that impresses. Marcus bought a Massey Ferguson 9S 595 because the math made sense, because the engineering was proven, because uptime mattered more than bragging rights, because he understood that 592 horsepower that runs every day is worth more than 620 horsepower that breaks. Travis bought a Case IH Steiger 620 because it was the biggest, because it was red, because it was what he'd always bought, because he wanted the respect that comes with owning the most powerful machine in the county. One tractor delivered. One tractor broke. One farmer finished the season $361,660 ahead. One farmer is still paying for it. That's the difference between buying power and buying performance, between reputation and reliability, between what looks good at the dealer lot and what works when it matters. The Massey Ferguson 9S 595 wasn't the loudest machine. It wasn't the most expensive. It wasn't the one that turned heads at the cafe or got 47 likes on Facebook. But it was the one still running when the Steiger was on a trailer heading back to the dealer. And in farming, that's the only number that matters. Uptime, reliability, performance. The Massey Ferguson 9S delivered all 3. The Steiger delivered excuses.